evacuate. You're seeing live pictures right now and also tonight. Well, today a group of GOP lawmakers, they held a press conference to call out the blatant double standard within the FBI, the obvious conflicts of interest within the Mueller team. Take a look.
Each day we learn more information that reflects the double standard that unfortunately seems to be pervasive at the FBI and at the Department of Justice.
Was this dossier, discredited dossier, paid for by DNC and Clinton campaign money? Was this dossier in fact used? Was it part of what was taken to the FISA court to allow spying to take place on Americans who were associated with the Trump campaign?
If Mueller was doing such a great job on investigating the Russian collusion, why could he have not found the conflict of interest within their own agency? The time for action is now, and there is a short fuse on demanding the kind of evidence and transparency that the American people deserve.
Here now live from Washington with much more are Freedom Caucus members. It's Chairman Congressman Mark Meadows, North Carolina. Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz is with us. Congressman Meadows, let me begin with you. And I mean, there's so much to get into. Yeah, great point. It was a Hillary Clinton bought and paid for. Hillary-controlled DNC bought and paid for propaganda dossier. But did they use that as a reason to get a to surveil against people in either the Trump campaign or the president-elect?
Well, we've asked for the FISA application document to be delivered to Congress. We think the American people need to know. But, you know, here's an interesting question, Sean. You and I have been talking about this for weeks, but here we have Peter Strzok, who actually was leading the Clinton investigation. Now, the same person who was not only interviewing Cheryl Mills and Huma Abedin, but also was the same individual who changed the exoneration letter from extremely grossly negligent, which is a crime, to extreme carelessness. And yet here is the person that Bob Mueller asked to be on his investigative team. Now, there's a real problem with that when you know that he was involved in the first investigation, and now we're asking him to go after Trump. I just can't see the logic of it.
I talk, Congressman Gaetz, about the weaponization of our powerful tools of intelligence. We are now looking at a special counsel that has Comey and Strzok and Page and Weissman and all these Democratic donors and a lot of Trump haters and Hillary lovers. And this guy Strzok is tied to everything. Your thoughts? What do we need to do?
Well, the Attorney General needs to do his job and end this witch hunt charade. We have a clear double standard, and you see it and the American people see it. Hillary Clinton's being investigated by her own fan club before the 2016 election, and now the only way you seem to get on Mueller's team is to demonstrate a hatred for Donald Trump. I think that the way Mueller built his team was finding people who had a bias against the president and doing everything he could to include them in this investigation, and it's absolutely ludicrous. Strzok is a big problem, but you also have Jeannie Ray. You've got Andrew McCabe telling people that we have to treat Hillary Clinton special. I mean, she's got a small team at headquarters investigating her. Meanwhile, we got more people investigating Donald Trump than investigated the Oklahoma City bombing, for goodness sakes.
Don't we have to, considering the fix was in, Mark Meadows, don't we now have to have a fair, if we're going to have equal justice under the law?
Well, we really do. We need to not only have a special prosecutor, maybe to investigate the investigators. And we're here to tell you tonight, not only do we have a task force that is being set up under Chairman Gowdy and Chairman Goodlatte that includes Jim Jordan, myself, John Ratcliffe, Ken Buck. We're working with Matt Gaetz and Ron DeSantis to get to the bottom of it. But the American people have had enough. You know, here's the interesting thing. I've got union workers back home in North Carolina who paid dues. Many of them went to Hillary Clinton. Those dues went to Hillary Clinton, who actually, they ended up buying off Russian informants in an Acquire-style dossier, and they were actually voting for Donald Trump.
It's exactly what they say they don't like about Trump that they can't prove for a year. Last thing, what do we do? I don't even know what to do about Robert Mueller. Congressman Gaetz, last word.
Yeah, Sean, what I would say is first thing we need to do is we need to get rid of this Mueller investigation, and the Attorney General, Jeff Sessions, sees the same things we see. So I don't know why Jeff Sessions has not fired Bob Mueller yet as a consequence of this terrible investigation. Second thing we need to do, we need to set up procedures at the FBI where there's more oversight and transparency so that this never happens again, so that we never get a rogue FBI director like James Comey who determines the outcome first.
Is this the worst you've ever seen it?
Absolutely,
well,
unquestionably.
It is the worst, and I tell you what, the time is now for Jeff Sessions to do his job, and if he doesn't do his job, you know, he needs to step aside and let somebody else do it.
Thank you both. I totally, completely, wholeheartedly agree. I'm told that it's being done. There's no evidence of it. Where is it? Where's the beef at this point? 1 year, no evidence on Trump. These are real crimes. This is real corruption. All right. Thank you both for being with us. By the way, those wildfires, our thoughts and prayers with the people in Ventura County. I lived in the adjacent Santa Barbara.